it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1119, the Cruise Charms, and you can check out all of our die designs at karenburniston.com. There are 9 dies in the set, and I like to just go through the scrap bin to find all the different colors I need and then just die cut everything at once. You can use any die cutting machine that can accommodate a wafer thin die, and today I'm using my Spellbinders Platinum 6. For the little ship charm, I like to go back through and cut it a second time out of a different color, and that way I can have a two-tone ship. Okay, die cutting is done, and now it's time for assembly. And I'm going to start first with the ship charm. Now there is a stencil feature for the windows, so depending on whether you've used a dark cardstock or a light cardstock might inform your pen decision. I decided on a white gel pen since I was on navy. Okay, so then on the second one, I cut that just to be able to change the color of the bottom portion of the ship. So I just want to snip off the top part and use just the bottom part. I like to use glue to assemble our charms. My favorite is Lineco Neutral pH adhesive in our fine tip bottle, and we do sell both of those items on our website. There's actually a cut up the middle of the bottom part of that ship to allow you to put a bend in it. And when you do that, it gives it some nice dimension. And I particularly like to do that as I'm gluing the two together because then it'll hold that shape. There is a die in the set to create a trim piece. So that just fits right there sort of at the seam between the two colors. There is a die to create some waves for the bottom edge of the ship. Okay, so that is the finished ship charm. For the anchor charm, you can use it with or without the chain, and the chain, of course, can be used with or without the anchor. If you want the chain to be woven into the anchor, then just snip the link at the top so that you can kind of weave it on to the hole at the top of the anchor itself. And then what I like to do is just kind of find a pleasing arrangement. Maybe it goes in front of the anchor at some spots and maybe behind at others. And you can always then put that on with a spot of glue to make it permanent. The ship's wheel charm is pretty straightforward. It's just a single piece. It does look kind of nice when you add a little ink to it. So I'm just brushing on some ink using a blending brush. This charm set comes with a greeting. It's Bon Voyage, which is a single piece. And what I like to do is just put a post-it note over the voyage, and that way I can ink just the bottom half of the top word, and then I can just move the post-it note away and do the same with the bottom word. So it's just a way to get a little two-tone effect to that single piece. For the life preserver charm, there's this piece that cuts the stripes. So I've cut that out of red. I'm going to turn that over to the back side. Then I've cut the main life preserver out of white, and you'll see there's some flat spots. So what I do is I just add my glue around the ring of the stripes, and then when I put the white piece on there, I want to make sure that those flat spots line up with those 4 stripes so that they're coming around on the flat spots. And you can see the red's a little bit smaller than the white so that you don't have to be perfect when you put it on there. Okay, now is when you have to decide if you'd like to add twine or not. And I decided that I will add twine to this one, but you wouldn't have to. You could just continue on without adding the twine. I would start with a 6-inch piece. Okay, so just choose one of the stripes, it doesn't matter which one, and start the twine in that glue and then just kind of go around in a circle so that the other end ends up in that same glue. Okay, so we're just making a loop with the twine on one of the stripes right at the seam between the white and the red. And then what I want to do is add some glue out to the end of the red. Then I'm going to wrap that across the life preserver with the little tip attaching to the back of the piece. Now I've used some pretty thick twine for this example, so I have a pretty small piece coming around to the inside, but you can see it right there. If I was doing this either without twine or with some that was a little thinner, I would have a little bit more of the red stripe to wrap around the back, but it works either way. You can use this thicker twine if you want to. And now all I want to do is just go around and trap the twine in as I go. So just wrapping those stripes around, pinching them until they attach to the back of the piece. And I really don't have to glue the twine in each time. That way I can slide it through and kind of adjust how much slack is in it. So it's only that first one that I've glued in, and these ones I'm just trapping them as I go. So glue out on the end of the stripe, hold the twine in place right at the seam, then wrap the stripe around until the tip goes to the back of the piece and attaches. So that's why you really kind of need glue for this. And then the last one, same process. So just hold the twine at the seam between the red and the white, a little adhesive out on the end of the stripe, and then wrap it around and attach it to the back of the white piece. And you can see I've been pretty much balancing the slack in the twine as I go, but I still have the opportunity to move it. I can kind of, pull it one way or the other and just adjust it since it's not really trapped or glued in except for that first one. Okay, so there is my finished life preserver using twine. The life preserver looks great if you skip the twine. So the assembly is the same, you just don't put the twine in, and then you'll see that you have a little bit more to wrap to the back and glue down. You can also cut off the holes at the top of our charms to use them as standalone elements. So say you wanted to have one of our animals floating in a life preserver, you could definitely do that. Definitely experiment with different thicknesses of twine to see what looks you like. So this one's got a relatively thick piece, but then this one uses thinner twine. We have lots of different charm sets and we size them so that they fit the pop-up. So this is the new paper frames pop-up. You can see how well those cruise charms fit right on it. So definitely when you're doing anything that's nautical themed, or in this case, a treasure chest at the bottom of the sea, those cruise charms are going to fit really well for those themes. Here are some cards made by a couple of our design team members. This one by Fran Sabad using the paper frames pop-up with the cruise charms. This one by Lois Bach also uses the paper frames pop-up with the cruise charms. Another pop-up die we offer is the Circle Tag Book that is a favorite with the designers for using with the charms. This one is by Lois Bach, and then here's a version by Fran Sabad. I like her choice of the navy and white baker's twine on her life preserver. The Cruise Charms die set is available now from our website, KarenBurniston.com, as well as a lot of your favorite online and local retailers. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can find out information about purchasing these dies, as well as links to all my other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.